to rumble. 12 rounds for the WBC Super Middleweight Championship of the World. The referee for this contest, working for the 65th time in a world title bout, is Richard Steele. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he's wearing the gold colors of the famous Kronk Gym in Detroit, Michigan. His professional record, 46 victories, 38 by knockout, only 3 defeats. Included in his history is the welterweight, super welterweight, middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight world championships. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he challenges for the WBC super middleweight title. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the 5-time champion of the world, Thomas Hitman Hearns. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red and white trunks from Landover, Maryland, this Olympic gold medalist of the 1976 Games has a professional record of 35-1, 25 by KOs. He is a 6-time world champion in 5 different divisions, including welterweight, junior middleweight, middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight divisions. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Sugar,
Okay, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again, obey my commands at all times. If there's no question, shake hands, good luck.
The question here, Jim, is whether Hearns will try to stay outside where he was most successful in their first fight, and whether Ray Leonard will go on the attack where he was most successful in the first fight.
The record state that the 2 fighters did not make eye contact with one another until just a couple moments ago, after referee's instructions. Ray Leonard tried to engage Tommy Hearns in a staring duel. Hearns did not look at him except for one brief moment when he was introduced, and at that point, Ray looked away. As the bout begins, Hearns tries a jab and attempts to set the tempo. The dominant weapon of the first 5 rounds of Leonard Hearns won, and Tommy is trying to establish it as such once again. Very quickly, Michael Nunn, what do you expect to see these 2 men trying to do in the early going?
Well, I figure the first round is going to be like a full-round process between both fighters. You know, Tommy's going to come out and try to get the jab established, and Ray's going to just sit back and let him pick and block his shots.
Leonard steps in for the first time, misses with a left uppercut, and moves back out.
Ray was going to the body. It seems apparent to me, Jim, that he's going to try to fight a bit of a war of attrition here by going to the body and getting Hearns tired.
Hearns is a little dry. Hasn't really broken much of a sweat here in round 1.
Oddly enough, in his 2 most important fights against Leonard and Hearns and Hagler, Hearns did not come in right physically. He came in underweight and overtrained for Leonard. He came in with his legs feeling weak for Hagler.
And if a fighter is dry throughout the early rounds, then one thing you suggest to yourself is that he might be overtrained. Leonard lands a jab to the side of Hearns' face. First solid blow for him.
Now Ray is standing his ground more. Again, he goes to the body.
You are seeing the flat-footed style of the new Ray Leonard. This is not the Ray Leonard who danced his way into the hearts of boxing fans in the early part of the decade.
That may be a message punch.
Just missed with a right cross, and Hearns smiles and waves as if to say, come on back. But right now, it is Leonard who is seizing the initiative, as Hearns has stopped throwing the jab.
Hearns has said that he wants to catch Ray Leonard on the way in, but Leonard is so quick jumping in with those big punches, that's going to be difficult right off.
And he scored with a right-hand lead over Hearns' jab. Ray says that Tommy has a habit of dropping the left now. Round one complete.
You got it, brother? Huh? Yeah, not as fast as Lon. You understand? It's not as fast as Lon. He's looking a little. Looking good. People are going to start pumping his jabs a little bit more now, okay? Because you're breaking up his long.
Time, set him up. Beautiful. And you see everything you can do in that round, just about you can do. You saw it.
You know when people...
He's going to go for every point you make. But I got to have that 1-2 at him. All right? See if we can do it off a double stick.
Looking real good. Okay? Looking real good. You're going to find the right hand now. Just a matter of time.
Come on. Look it out. Stay where you are.
And stay directly in front of him. Just move. Okay? Good luck.
All right.
Very quickly, Michael Nunn, which fighter would have the mental edge coming out of round one?
Well, probably to lean toward Tommy Hearns because you understood him was telling me to get that jab to work and start throwing more jabs. And Ray's corner, they weren't saying that much.
Incidentally, for the second consecutive fight, Ray Leonard fights without Angelo Dundee in the corner, the man who was a fixture in so many of his great victories in the past. This time, another regular, Janks Morton, is absent from the corner. Dave Jacobs, who was in Hearns' corner for the fight in September of '81, returns to Ray Leonard's corner tonight.
By staying this way, flat-footed right in front of Hearns, Leonard is saying to Hearns, go ahead, lead. I'm going to counter you. Both of them want to counter right now. That's why not too much is happening.
Leonard landed a looping left, but it had no snap.
Again, Leonard to the body.
Hearns is not yet pumping the jab the way Emanuel Stewart asked him to do. Hearns tries to land a right. Leonard blocked it.
If this is a war, as this fight was advertised, right now it's just a war of attrition.
Almost a war of nerves. There's been very little contact. Short with the right hand. Leonard was able to step back. But Hearns is becoming a little more active now within the past 45 seconds.
Leonard trying to get inside of those long arms of Tommy Hearns.
With the exception of the occasional jab, flicking jab from Tommy Hearns, both fighters remain a little out of range of one another, and just as I say that, Leonard is able to step in and land. Round two coming to a close. Leonard switches to a southpaw stance and takes the right hand in the face for his trouble.
Look here. Every time you get that good jab off, now I'm going to go to double the jab and put a hard right hand behind it. But finish on that left hook. He's there for your right hand left hook. Let's go with it. Every time you make a little freeze move, he's freezing. And throw that 1-2 at him when you do that. But finish with that left hook. All right, we're looking fine. Get them shoulders moving more. Don't stand stationary.
capacity crowd on hand, not an empty seat in the house. Round 3 begins in the desert. First 2 rounds, tentative, a feeling out process. One of the most effective blows, a right hand by Hearns just at the end of round 2 after Leonard had switched to a southpaw stance, a strategy he toyed with throughout his training in Florida. Leonard still trying to get inside to the body of Hearns. Very conscious of going for Tommy's ribcage. Hearns beginning to flick the jab a little more often was the case prior to the midpoint of round 2. Leonard try a right toward the kidney of Hearns. He believes that he can get there with that punch if he sets it up correctly. Hearns is landing with the jab now, and this begins to assume some of the complexion of the first fight, particularly the first 4 or 5 rounds. Now Leonard is able to step in and land his jab. Not in such a way as to do damage to Tommy. Right hand by Hearns, and Leonard is stopped in his tracks. Hearns gains confidence and knocks Leonard down. It has long been regarded as one of the great weapons in the sport. Tommy Hearns' right cross. Now he tries to land it again. Leonard fighting back.
Keep remembering that when he's hurt, Sugar Ray Leonard is dangerous.
Well, he's hurt right now.
And he is somewhat hurt, a little stunned right now. And Hearns is wary of that reputation.
Hearns landing with the left. Has not been able to get the right in a second time.
And Ray is going after him. And Hearns is laying back.
And Reyes lands a right and a left to show Tommy Hearns he's out of the temporary stupor. Hearns comes back with another right. They stand toe-to-toe and trade blows.
Let's take a look at that knockdown again. Tommy Hearns has said over the years that that little monster has been deviling him and running after him all these years because of the memory of that first. But now Tommy Hearns is chasing the monster down. That was the time when they both threw right hands. Hearns' right hand got in, and he follows up with it.
So there was the solid right cross, which set it up. Then he hit Ray on the back of the head with that one, which caused the knockdown.
Much like the knockdown of Donnie Lalonde in their fight, a high on the head.
Third time in his career that Ray Leonard has been knocked down. And I think that would have to be one of the most devastating single punches he ever took, the right cross that set it up.
From his point of view, Hearns is fighting a practically perfect fight, patient, using his left hand, trying to goad Leonard into making moves, and giving Leonard all kinds of problems as he tries to probe to get inside.
Michael Nunn, are you surprised at how close Leonard is staying to Hearns in this round?
Yes, I'm real surprised. I figured Ray would be saying a distance, trying to slip the jab, but he's right in there with Tommy. He's letting him know that, hey, let's go to war and do it.
Knowing the competitiveness of Ray Leonard, I believe he thinks he has to do something dramatic here to get the crowd on his side, to get the officials on his side. Otherwise, he can find himself climbing a mountain again, as in the first fight.
But he runs the risk of putting himself in range of that devastating right hand, which has already had him down once. Leonard lands the right. It was a bit of a glancing blow. Hearns smiled. Ray showing a lot of courage, stepping back up in there time and again. Leonard landed 2 solid shots to the body there. Tries to go back to the ribcage. To the body. Solid shot. Tries to follow it up. Hearns missed with the right. Leonard is seizing the initiative, but giving Hearns a lot of chances. And he landed the right there. And indeed, suddenly it begins to look like a war.
Yeah.
All right, come back, come on.
Just missed. An action-filled round with both fighters making assertive statements.
All right. Yeah, we want that right hand more. He can't, look, he has no answer for the right hand. Do it off the jab. I want to see some jab and the hard right hand on top. Squat when you do it. Jab, squat, throw it over top. Then, Ray, when you come back the next time, hurt that body. Start hurting that body. I got to get those legs away from him. Got it? He wants to the body.
That was a grazing punch by Tommy Hearns. Now watch Ray Leonard go back in, throw a right, followed by a left and a double uppercut to the body.
If you look back at the Lalonde fight, Larry, you might suggest that the knockdown that Lalonde was able to pin on Ray seemed to wake him up, invigorate him a little bit. Something of the same thing appeared to happen here.
Well, we know how intelligent a fighter Ray Leonard is and how much presence he has in the fight. And he has to know that these have been 4 difficult rounds for him and that he's fallen far behind. There was a bit of desperation in some of his lunges in that previous round. Let's see what he can do to try to break Hearns down. Hearns seems to have gained confidence and is coming on very assertively.
Look how energetic Hearns is with the jab now, peppering Leonard time and time again. And remember that Tommy was able to nearly close Ray's left eye with the left jab in fight number 1. Leonard just pawing with the jab and leaving it out there. Lunging again, as you say, Larry. It is Leonard who looks tentative and Hearns who looks commanding in round 5. Another right cross by Hearns, sneaked in between Leonard's gloves. Great left. And now it is Hearns who wobbles against the rope. A tremendous left hook following the right hand by Ray Leonard.
And now Hearns is holding on for dear life, which is something he didn't do in the first fight.
A right and a left. Leonard just missing with and a right land. Hearns in a lot of trouble with a long way to go in this round. And now Hearns seems to regain a bit of himself.
Hearns has taken some of Leonard's best stuff here.
Very close to hitting on the break, but Leonard got away with the left hook. But it looks as though Hearns may weather the storm. Reminiscent of round 6 in the first fight, Leonard again completely turns things around.
And that's the best round of all the rounds they fought.
This is what makes a great fighter. This is what makes a great. You understand? Where's that? Hold your head back. Hold your head back. Okay. This is what...
Let's take a look at what happens here. And there was the left hook that wobbled Hearns and started the onslaught from Sugar Ray Leonard to get him back into this fight.
Both punches in the combination landed, the overhand right and the startling left hook.
You're always hearing trainers tell their fighters, put your punches together. That's what happens when you throw more than one punch at a time. The right was a grazing right. The left connected solidly and turned that round around, at least.
Round 6 begins. Michael Nunn, who holds the upper hand now?
Well, the last round, Ray kind of took charge. He hit Tommy with a good right hand, came back with a left hook and had him hurt toward the end of the last round. So, Ray he has charge right now.
We'll see if he can maintain the edge. Hearns tries to come back with the jab again. He's been most effective in this fight when working off the jab. Not terribly surprising. That was also the case in 1981.
And Hearns seems to have recovered. He has trained very hard for this fight. And of course, to him, as he has stated in so many different ways, it's life and death. And that kind of high motivation is keeping him going here, where he had such a hard time in the first fight.
Leonard got a jab in and managed to slip both of Hearns' punches in return.
And a little bit of blood coming from Hearns' mouth.
Tommy starting to grin a little bit. There is a small trickle of blood around the bottom lip.
So far, Ray Leonard has been unable to follow up on the advantage of the last round.
And while Hearns continues to use the jab a lot, though, it is not the jolting, stiff jab with which he dominated rounds 3 and 4. Leonard showing off his ability to slip the jab, steps in and hits Hearns with a right cross, and Hearns comes back with a straight left. Leonard beginning to become the busier fighter in tight. Working the body and remembering to throw when the two stand in close.
You all right? Okay.
Lift his mouthpiece on.
Okay. Lift the shot. Hold the shot.
Give him his mouthpiece. Good. Nose get first.
All right, Harold Letterman, our unofficial official. How do you score the fight so far?
Larry, I've got it 4 rounds to 2 in favor of Tommy Hearns. For the first 4 rounds, I thought he was fighting a perfect fight. He had Ray Leonard on the end of the jab. He was doubling the jab, and then all of a sudden, Sugar Ray Leonard turned it around in the 5th round. He went up in Tommy Hearns' face, and he gave Tommy Hearns a bad beating in the 5th round, and he stayed in his face, landed the better shots in the 6th.
Something to keep in mind here, Jim and Mike. Their first fight was a watershed fight in scoring. After that first fight, a lot of people objected to the scoring because Leonard didn't get full credit for the rounds he dominated. And since that time, it has been more of a practice here and elsewhere to score 10-8 rounds. And that could become a crucial factor in this fight tonight.
Hearns landed a left that backed Leonard up. Ray Leonard began this round very close to Tommy Hearns, and he may pay a price for it. Hearns wailing away. Leonard staggers against the ropes a bit. Tommy's leaving himself open, afraid to come back with anything.
This is the most trouble I've ever seen Ray Leonard in. Right here, he is badly hurt. And only his experience and his guts can carry him through here. Older fighters are more vulnerable to getting hit, and Ray is getting hit more good punches than we've seen him get hit with before.
Right now, he's been hurt badly enough that those punches he's throwing are pawing, waving punches with no snap behind them. It is Hearns who's doing all the damage here in round 7. Now Leonard begins to get some starts back in his punches. But Hearns lands the right again. You get the feeling that if Hearns can step across and land the right on balance, Leonard's going to have trouble staying up.
Step back.
Little smile on Tommy Hearns' lips. He's saying it's a little different now, isn't it?
Surely few have ever wanted more badly to win a fight than Tommy Hearns wants to win tonight. Too much? We'll see.
Sometimes I've thought, Jim, that he almost wanted to win it too much, and that tensed him up.
Leonard coming back with a furious assault to the body. And when he throws to the body, Hearns does not throw back at it.
Amazing recuperative powers by Ray Leonard. Amazing combative instincts.
Amazing ability to seize and dominate the last 30 seconds to the minute of a round. Will survive another round in which it appeared early that he was out on his feet.
Yeah, he's sticking his legs out there. Yeah. All right. Eddie, check him out here, good. Nothing wrong. Just check. Put that sponge on there. Very soft, crazy. Look, you're standing up too tall. Number one. How did you wait? Now listen, you got to get your body. You got your legs first. Go in, steal what you want, and move him around a little bit. Steal what you want and move around.
This is the barrage that had Ray Leonard in trouble in the early part of that round. And if Tommy Hearns didn't get overexcited, he might have finished him there. Hearns saw a chance to end the fight right then, but it eluded him. We'll see if that becomes costly.
He did not effectively set up Ray and measure him for the right cross, which is the punch with which he might be able to end the fight.
But this is a more poised Tommy Hearns. He's staying in the fight. He's fighting a well-disciplined fight. And right now, he's leading convincingly.
Such was the case in September of 1981 as well.
And keep in mind, that was a 15-round fight that went 14 rounds. This is a 12-round fight.
And if that fight had been stopped at 12 rounds, Tommy Hearns was the winner on all three thoughts. Remarkable fight so far. The graphics you saw between rounds indicated both fighters in the first 7 rounds threw an equal number of punches.
Leonard, I believe, had been counting on Hearns to show fatigue as the fight wore on. He's had a problem with his stamina in some recent fights. We don't see any signs of it yet.
Do you agree with that, Michael? Tommy Hearns does not look tired to you yet?
No, Tommy, he's not tired. You know what I mean? He's really surprised with his conditioning.
What about Ray?
Ray too, you know what I mean? What I think Ray's trying to do is let Tommy punch himself out. And rounds 8, 9, and 10, he'll try to pick the pace up.
Isn't it a gamble falling as far behind on points as he may be falling at this moment?
Yes, you know, by fights going 12 rounds, it's not beneficial to Ray Leonard by letting Tommy take control.
He may not have any choice. Round 8 in its waning minute. Hearns continuing to stalk Leonard around the ring. Right cross just missed. Leonard with a right and then a left inside.
One thing that should be emphasized here, Jim, at this weight, Tommy Hearns is obviously stronger defensively than he was at 145 pounds in their first fight. Given the size of his body, this is a more natural weight for him, and he appears to be stronger at this weight, at least in this fight.
But of course it was at something close to this weight. He was knocked out by Barkley, knocked down by James Kinchen.
When you go to throw the right hand, do it off a jab to the belly. You can throw it all the time, man. I want to see you go out and do it now. I need some body work, man. Too straight up. Come him down a little bit, okay? We know how to attack from both sides of it. Don't run the shoulder. Listen up, brother down. Pardon me? Listen up, brother down. You all right? Okay, now all you got to do is throw punches. Right now? Someone banding you jab. Use your left jab. Handing up. You got to protect that body of his. Okay? All right. The ball is tired. He is tired now.
Tommy Hearns appears to be far ahead in this fight. Ray Leonard is going to have to do something dramatic and soon.
4 rounds remaining. Hearns showing no signs of fatigue, still dominating much of the action with his jab, and occasionally stepping in for heavy blows. He has twice had Ray Leonard in serious trouble, once down on the canvas. On the other hand, Leonard nearly had Hearns on his back in round 5. Hearns complaining to referee Richard Steele that Leonard threw a low blow, and Leonard acknowledged it. Steele stepped away. Solid right cross by Leonard, partially blocked though, I think. Hearns able to step back up.
now the master plan for the middleweight division is in a little bit of disarray. Tommy Hearns keeps this up. There will be no Leonard Duran 3. There probably won't be a Leonard Hagler 2. Might be a Leonard Hearns 3. Or Ray Leonard, being a proud man, might pack it in.
Or how about none Hearns 1?
Well, Tommy Hearns has already said he wants no part of Michael Nunn.
He may want part of the money which could ensue as a result of a bout like that. Hearns just missed with a right hand that might have ended matters then and there.
Your thoughts?
Hard left by Leonard, and Hearns is staggered momentarily again. Leonard steps in. Not much time to go to work on this. And Hearns again holds on.
You gotta listen to me real good. So this will maybe be the last round of the fight, honey. You got to come out and let your big shots go. You cannot afford to make this fight go longer now. You understand? You got to listen to me very carefully. You got to come out and let your shots go. Try to get this man out of here this round, okay?
Let's take a look. A left hand. And turn that round around. Will it turn the fight around? Which shows us that we have two predators in the ring here, taking their turns at going. Harold, how do you have the fight now?
Larry, 87-83, 6 rounds to 3. Favorite Thomas Hearns. I think he's keeping him on the end of the left jab and scoring effectively with the right hand.
So increasingly, Michael Nunn, it appears that Ray Leonard may lead a knockout.
Ray Leonard is going in for the kill if it's there. He wants to get at Hearns right now. He knows he must do something dramatic and decisive.
And Hearns is still staggered from the flurry that ended the last round. Leonard was just able to knock him back into the ropes with a jab.
And not a hard jab at that.
Left hand on the face. Leonard may have a shot here.
Can Ray Leonard do it again?
This is a fighter who has shown a matchless ability to rise to occasion. You just saw the scorecard of our Harold Letterman, which would suggest that if the other scorecards are in sync, Ray may need a knockout to avoid losing Leonard Hearns too.
Are you surprised that Ray isn't being a little bit more reckless here?
I think Ray should be real reckless here right now. I mean, because, you know, Tommy's like holding back. He should take charge and just start letting his hands go.
Which punches or which combination of punches would be most likely to get the job done for him?
The uppercut to the midsection, then up to the chin. The shot he hurt him with the last round. I think he'll be successful if he starts throwing that shot.
Appear that Ray has blown the opportunity to capitalize on the damage he did to Hearns at the end of round 9. Hearns now apparently has his legs back under. There's a bloody mark on Tommy Hearns' left cheek under his eye. Apparently a small cut there.
This is a very warm night in the desert. Both fighters have absorbed some hard punches. Will they be able to sustain their attacks in these last 2.5 rounds?
Leonard goes to the body again. And now Hearns has recovered from the beating he took at the end of round 9. Crowd chanting, Tommy, Tommy.
They're begging you to throw the right hand.
Get the damn camera out of there.
Throw the right hand, Tommy. That's gonna take you home. This is the 11th round coming up. The 11th round, you don't want to fight, let it go.
Thomas, listen to me. Jab, right hand, left hook. I want that right hand straight to the forehead. Come back with the left hook. You can knock him out with a jab, straight hand.
A little bit low, you two straight up. Anybody hit you with those jabs and right hands. Bring it down a little bit, okay? All right, Jake. All right. All right, let's go now.
We all remember this moment 8 years ago. Angelo Dundee spurring Ray Leonard on with the words, "You're blowing it, son, you're blowing it." But nobody has to tell Ray Leonard that. He's standing in the middle of the round, in the middle of the ring, and he knows that he can blow this fight if he doesn't do something fast.
And you saw Richard Steele preventing Leonard from making a bull rush toward Hearns to begin that round. At the end of the last round, there was a brief staring match as Hearns stared ominously at Leonard. Leonard, rejoicing over the solid right hand he had landed to end the round, went back to his corner and threw his arms in the air, attempting to look the part of the winner, as he has done so successfully in the past. Right now, he is a Ray Leonard, in all likelihood, trailing on points in the closing minutes against Tommy Hearns. He's been in that position once before. Oh, a solid right hand by Hearns. Spectacular right cross, and Leonard is in trouble again.
And Ray Leonard had a look on his face there that I had never seen before.
A look of utter bewilderment.
Trying to regain his composure, and he jumps back in with a right hand. Does he have enough left to do any damage with it?
Is this the first time in Ray Leonard's career that he's been knocked down twice in a fight? Both times he was the victim of sensational right crosses from Thomas Hearns. But how many fighters would come back in with this will and this gumption at this point in the fight?
I can think of one of them.
You're looking at it. Hearns just missed with a haymaker. Leonard landing with the left. And stepping back in. 3 minutes, 40 seconds left in the fight.
Hearns has fought a much smarter fight than he did in the first fight. Every time he's been hurt a little bit, he's folded those big arms around Ray Leonard and bought some time. He didn't do it at all in the first fight.
Come on, work your way out.
Tommy Hearns is 1 round away.
There's a right hand that staggered Ray Leonard. He's hurt now. Tommy Hearns patiently goes after him. 2 more right hands. And Ray falls down almost from exhaustion as well as from the hurt. As we said earlier, when great fighters come to the end of their careers, they become more vulnerable, and they often give us memorable fights. Ray Leonard needs a knockout. He knows it.
Let's go, Sam.
Leonard begins the round with a small smile on his face. Surely he has no illusion.
Tommy Hearns isn't holding back when all he could do is play out the rounds.
This is the pride of Tommy Hearns. He would love nothing more than to put Leonard down for good.
He just doesn't want to win. He wants to beat up his tormentor. He wants to spear the white whale.
He wants to get rid of 8 years of nightmares.
There is no quit in either of these great warriors. Can Ray Leonard do it? He's got a minute to go and an exhausted fighter in front of him.
Down, he'll wonder for the rest of his life why he gave Leonard this chance. In the 12th round of the fight, he had apparently won.
They're coming across the finish line with nothing left. They've given every ounce of what they have in their hearts, and they have big hearts.
Greater display of what it is that makes men fighters.
As Boris Becker said in the recent French Open, when you get to the end of a grueling match, it had nothing to do with tennis. This had nothing to do with fighting there in the last minute. It had to do with
Tommy Kaczmarek from New Jersey, Dalby, Shirley, Roth from Las Vegas. A tremendous battle, no matter which way the judges see it. And we certainly have Hearns, the winner. He scored knockdowns in round 3 and round 11. Ray Leonard's biggest round, the 5th, and then in the 12th, a tremendous rally against the tired Tommy Hearns.
Marvin, you know, I owe Tommy Hearns an apology. After the Kinchen fight, I said on the air, Tommy, what do you need it for anymore? You should retire. You have all the money you want. You were down. You were hurt badly. Retire, Tommy. And did he show me? I said he didn't have any legs anymore, didn't have a good chin, but he sure proved it tonight.
He did. He fought an excellent fight, I felt. You know, it's like, again,
Here's the punch stat. Leonard landed 232 punches, Tommy 221. Hearns was more accurate with 40%, but Hearns scored those 2 big knockdowns, and that should be the difference in the fight.
Exactly. See, I'm trying to tell you that Leonard's not moving as much. He put that little bulk on him, and that's going to be a big bad thing for him.
See, another thing, Marv, Leonard's strategy all during his training was to throw every punch like a bomb and hurt the other guy, and he forgot to put his punches together. That's what got him here. The big punch comes all by itself.
I told Barbara maybe 20 million to do it for me.
All right, let's go up to Michael Buffer.
Jerry Roth scores the bout 113 to 112 for Thomas Hearns. Tommy Kaczmarek scores it 113 to 112 for Sugar Ray Leonard. And Dalby Shirley scores the bout. 112, 112. This bout is a draw, ladies and gentlemen.
A surprising draw. Let's look at the scoring of the last 3 rounds. Through 10, 2 judges had it all even, and Tommy Kaczmarek actually had Leonard ahead by 2 points. All 3 judges gave Hearns a 10-8 round in the 11th. Even still, going into the final round, Leonard needed a knockout or a 3-point round to win the fight. As you can see, Dalby Shirley scored the 12th round, 10-8 for Sugar Ray Leonard. He was the only judge to do so, and that's not the way we saw the round. We saw 10-9 for Leonard.
Well, here we see the end of the 12th round where Ray Leonard is really battering Tommy Hearns around the ring. However, in the beginning of the round, it was Tommy that was doing the battering. Therefore, I think it should have been a 10-9 round. However, the real key is the fact that the 2 judges, as well as we at ringside, gave the first 2 rounds to Hearns. Tommy Kaczmarek disagreed and gave them to Leonard. And that was the difference in the scoring. I'd suggest that you people at home rewind your tape to the first 2 rounds, look at them, and judge for yourself.
Gil, a tremendous performance by these 2 great warriors, but certainly a somewhat surprising decision.
Yes, Tim, I thought that Tommy Hearns won the fight. He scored 2 knockdowns in the fight, won the first 3 rounds, had a big 11th round. I don't know how to come up with the numbers. I think Tommy Hearns won the fight.
Well, what also surprised me was Tommy Hearns' reaction. He didn't seem to be too unhappy with the draw. Perhaps he was just happy that he knocked down Ray Leonard twice.
No, I don't think so, Tim. He took a pounding at the end of the 12th round. I don't think he was thinking quite clearly. Tomorrow, when he reviews the fight in retrospect, he'll know he won the fight.
Does it make sense to have a Leonard Hearns 3?
No, Tim, I don't think it makes sense. These guys really fought their hearts out, both of them. They made a lot of money. They don't need any more money. As a matter of fact, I think after Ray Leonard looks at his performance, he may think of saying sayonara.
Well, all right. Thank you, Gil Clancy. And that's it for the Leonard Hearns saga. We hope you've enjoyed this home video cassette as much as we have enjoyed bringing it to you.
Thank you.